Are you planning a virtual event and feeling a bit overwhelmed? Well, you're not alone. And in today's video, I'm going to show you my ultimate checklist for planning a virtual event that rocks. Let's talk about it. Hello. Welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today to talk about planning those virtual events. I know it can seem scary, but hey, before we go any further into it, if this is your first time here with me, hi, I'm Ella Glasgow, your show-stopping virtual event producer hired by corporate meeting and event planners to help them create impactful virtual and hybrid events without pulling their hair out trying to figure out all the tech and logistics of it all. And we do this with our signature Encore method for transformational virtual experiences that have their audiences wanting to pay cash money to attend again and again. And today we are talking about getting your virtual event or meeting together. And I know it may seem crazy, it may feel daunting, and you may have been tasked with this to be done for your next event. Maybe you've been tasked to plan the next event virtually, and you have probably got a ton of other things on your plate, and you want to know what are the things that you may not have been thinking about that you should have had on your list to check off to make sure things get done. But before I go any further, hey, if you are here with me live, then let me know that you are here with me live. Say, hey. And if you are here with me in the replay, then go ahead and give me a hashtag replay. I want to know that you're here. Let's have a conversation. And if what I'm talking about today is something that you feel that your friends would enjoy, then please go ahead and spread this like your favorite jam amongst them. And let's get back to it, shall we? Okay. So like I said, you may have been tasked with planning your next event or meeting virtually. And you probably do have a ton of other things on your plate. This is probably not the thing that is your wheelhouse, but you've been asked to do it and you are going to make it happen. And it would seem that it would be as simple as choosing your virtual event platform and just rolling with it, right? There are over 100 platforms. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there are over 100 virtual event platforms. I wish it was just as simple as choosing a platform, but it's not that simple. So today I'm going to talk with you about the things that you need to be thinking about when it comes to putting your virtual event or meeting together. And hey there, Coach Clement, I see you. What is going on? Yes. I see you there. Welcome. So are you ready? If you're ready, give me a I'm ready, and let's get into this so that you can know what this checklist is all about. Ready? I'm going to talk with you about it in 3 acts, okay? So act 1 is the getting ready to get ready. When it comes to your virtual event, obviously there are pieces that need to be thought about and need to be done before the virtual event can happen. Like, how many attendees are you planning on having? That will definitely affect the platform that you choose, and it will affect how you use that platform as well. And I want to go ahead and talk through some of the pieces. I'm going to go through as many of these pieces as I can, but just so that you know, Coach Clement, you're always ready. I want to talk with you as many pieces as I can today, but I want you to know that I know that I'm not going to be able to go over everything. And if you want to get the ultimate checklist, then go ahead and go right here to this link and you will be able to grab the entire checklist. It's a little workbook. You'll be able to write things in it and write things down and make sure that you don't forget anything when it comes to putting your virtual event together. So let's first go ahead and think about this. When I'm thinking about putting the virtual event together, I am definitely thinking about I'm thinking about, what is what is your virtual event type. So first we need to decide your virtual event type. And hopefully you can read my handwriting. I need you to decide what your virtual event type is, because knowing what that virtual event type is really going to help you to understand what it is and which platform, what pieces, and the types of things that you're going to need for the event that you're trying to put on virtually or hybridly. That's a word that I just made up right now. So first, decide what your event type is. Next, I want you to decide, let's make another checkbox. I want you to decide your event content structure. So when it comes to your event content and it comes to creating all of those things, all those pieces for your event, what's happening during the event, you really need to be thinking about the structure of the event. Something that I often say to my clients, the content and the things that are happening during the event really need to lead us toward the ultimate goal. And if the content that you are looking at making be a part of your virtual event or meeting is not leading to the ultimate goal, your audience's ultimate goal, to create something, have something, do something, be something, then that piece of content is superfluous and not necessary. And I would encourage you to just scratch it. If it's just fluff, then get rid of it. If it's not leading to your ultimate goal, then it really shouldn't be there, and it's wasting people's time. And I know that that's not anything that you want to do. I know you don't want to waste anybody's time. So let's make sure that we help our audience along by really putting content together that really pushes them toward the goal. Okay, so we've decided on our event content and our content structure and how we're going to make that happen and how it's going to show up for our audience when they come and see us. The next thing I'm thinking about when I am putting events together and talking with our clients about the events that we are putting together for them, I mentioned this before and I'm going to say this again. There are over 100 virtual event platforms. Over 100. That's a lot to try and sort through. And the thing is, every platform has their purpose. Of course, I have my biases toward certain platforms. But really, you really need to be thinking about what it is that you are trying to get done with your virtual event, and what it is you're trying to get done with your virtual event will really help you determine which platform is the right platform for you. Once you have created your goals, you know what it is that you're trying to do, where it is you're trying to go with the event, what the ultimate goal is, then you will be able to better be able to choose your right virtual event platform. Yeah? If this is ringing true for you, if this is making you think, then go ahead and give me a hashtag fire plus what it is that's making you think when it comes to creating your next virtual event or meeting. Everything that I'm talking about today really has to do with your virtual events, your virtual meetings, whether they're presentations, whatever it is that you're doing with a camera in front of your face. And speaking of which, if you are enjoying how it is I do video. And you're just like, well, how can I do that too? Because I really I want to look like a rock star on video. And what it is that I'm doing can be done in your virtual meetings, whether it be on Zoom, on Google Meets, on Teams, whatever it happens to be, you can do all of this too. And I would love to help you do that. You can go ahead, if you didn't know already, I did a masterclass not too long ago, and I created a masterclass so that you could learn how to do what it is that I'm doing on screen. And if that's something that interests you, you want to really up-level your game when it comes to video, whether you're live streaming or doing a presentation in front of clients, then I would love to be able to show that to you. Just go ahead and use this link to be able to grab the replay of the Rockstar Video Masterclass. And now let's get back to it. So, like I said, there are a lot of pieces to getting the virtual event together. And the next piece that I really feel is incredibly important, that often gets overlooked and a little misunderstood, is your run of show. When it comes to any type of event and putting that event together and having the things that you need on the day of the show, the run of show is absolutely vital. It is not underlined. It is not an event outline. It's not. It is much more detailed than that. It is the play-by-play. And if it's something that you're just like, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed, just know that we do this for our clients. We create this for our clients, the exact time to the letter of what's going on to the screen, so that everybody in that event that's behind the scenes knows what's going on. And speaking of what's going on behind the scenes, you also need to be thinking about before the show. There's a lot in Act 1. Did I tell you that there's a lot in Act 1? Speaking of, we also want to be choosing your event team. Choose your event team. And when I say your event team, I'm talking about your speaker coordinator, and that's the person who's going to be working with your speakers, making sure that they have what they need, they know where they need to be, all of those things, wrangling them for tech run and all the materials that you need from them. You want to know who's producing, who's producing, who is running the show, who is calling the shots once this event is happening. And I like to call every single event a show, because everything is a show for me, if you haven't guessed that already. And then we want to know who's going to be the host, or the MC, some people like to call it. That person that's going to be on screen directing your audience to where it is that they need to go, where it is that they need to be, who will be that person. And I definitely encourage you to find a professional for that role in particular. Not to say that you don't need a professional for all of these roles. If this is overwhelming you, then you definitely want to give me a call and let us help you to check off these pieces for you, so that you can say, oh, my event team is just beyond virtual events. They're handling all of that, because that's what it is that we do, including hosting and emceeing and being your platform operator. Who's going to be actually running the platform for the attendees as they are coming into the event? And back to what I was saying about this, the host and the MC. That host really needs to be someone that understands how to connect with an audience through a screen. And while it may seem that someone who, even at a professional level, while someone that may have been on camera for a long time, understand that being an MC is a separate skill set from being a spokesperson. A spokesperson is not necessarily an MC. Someone who has been a speaker for a long time is not necessarily an MC. There are different skill sets that come with that, and understanding how to move an audience from point A to point B and get them to the ultimate goal of the event, which often means as well that we are facilitating panel sessions and getting questions asked and answered of the audience and your panelists. There's a lot that goes into it. So make sure the person that you have on the screen for your virtual event really understands that and really understands how to move your event along on time. I can't stress that enough. On time. Because I've seen it heard it many times, that lots of times that events ain't getting done on time because people want to yammer on too much about things that are not to be talked about at that point in time. Okay, and now I'm yammering on. So let's continue on, shall we? Like I said, there's a lot. There are a lot of pieces. There are a lot of pieces, and I really want to be able to go through all of them for you, but I don't want to take all of the time to do that today. So if it's something that you would really like to get and really be able to make sure that you've got this checklist in front of you, then definitely go ahead and hop on this link and grab the checklist, which is a checklist and a workbook, so that you can work through your virtual event, making sure that you're checking all of the boxes. Now, the other thing that is incredibly important, let's move into Act 2, because I told you that this is in 3 acts, right? So it's the day of the show. The day of the show. And while it may seem that some of these things are before the event, I consider them a part of the day of the show. It's still happening before the show, but I'm considering them the day of the show. So what I'm talking about is your tech run. I know that sometimes when it comes to a virtual event, it can seem like a tech run is dumb. But let me tell you, it will be your saving grace. So make sure that tech run for your speakers, for your production staff, is really happening on your checklist. And when it comes to tech runs and really working, oh, you know what? I just saw your comment, Coach Clement, and he said this is so important. An MC is a skill set for real. Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. So when it comes to your tech runs for your speakers, make it as detailed as possible. Make your tech runs as detailed as possible. Go through all of the pieces, because when you don't make time for a tech run for your event, whether it be a short event or a multi-day event, a tech run needs to happen, because the tech run is where we have the opportunity to catch those things that will throw the event off balance before they happen. I tell our speakers oftentimes during tech runs, this is where I want all the mistakes be made. This is where I want all the junk to happen. I want all the snafus to happen right now at tech run. Why? Because I don't want them to happen on the day of the show, on the actual day of the show. So make sure that you get a tech run in there. And when it comes to your speakers and those tech runs, confirm that schedule. So I'm going to say confirm your speaker schedule, but that is really a part of the speaker schedule. Making sure that they show up for tech run. While you may have chosen some really amazing speakers that are top notch, and perhaps they've been online for more than a minute. I mean, we've all been online for more than a minute, right? But let's get real for just a second here. Not everybody has up-leveled their online game. Am I right? Or am I right? So I'm speaking as a speaker about speakers right now, and as an entertainer that's been asked to do tech runs, do rehearsals. And I know that we can sometimes get all up in our feelings about why you are having us come to do these things that I've been doing for a bajillion years. I already know how to do it. I already know my stuff works. Here's the thing. It ain't about you. It ain't about your speakers. They were hired because they're amazing. You thought that these speakers were amazing. And just like if Broadway came a calling to do Hello Dolly again and they said, Barbara Streisand, can you come and do it? And she said yes. Even though she did the movie role and she's probably been singing the songs for 100,000 years, and the same director is there on the same Broadway stage that she did it before. There's a whole entirely new cast that are all just as wonderful. And she still has to go to the rehearsals and the tech runs. Why? Not because she doesn't know what she's doing, not because she hasn't been doing it for her entire life, but because we all want to be on the same page. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? If you are hearing what I'm saying, give me a hashtag fire and let me know what is ringing with you right now, because I want to know. Okay? So, like I said, this stuff is incredibly important. It is absolutely imperative that you make this tech run happen. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're moving along. We're moving along, and there's so much that I want to give to you. But I'm going to go ahead and get into Act 3. And before I do, remember what I said before. If you want the entire checklist, because there's just no way I'm going to go through it all today. If you want the entire checklist, you can grab it right here. Just go ahead, get into that link, and you will be able to grab the entire checklist, which is an actual workbook for you to work through for your virtual event. And as always, if this is something that even still overwhelms you and you just don't have the time or the desire to do it, then you can always reach out to me. And of course, we will help you produce your rockstar virtual event. So let's get back into it. Act 3. The after party. When it comes to your virtual event, it can seem like, once it's done, it's done. We did it. Woo! All right. Bye, y'all. And that could be the end. But I encourage you to not allow that to be the absolute end. And you'll want to decide and really start making some choices about how you are going to promote. Decide how you'll promote and communicate. I'm writing not very well. Decide how you promote and communicate with your attendees before, during, and after the event. Because just because the party is over, Coach Coleman said, fire and the smoke. Decide how you're going to promote, market to your attendees before, during, and after the event is over. And oftentimes, one of those pieces that you can use for promoting after the event is something that you would have created before the event, but it's your event dashboard. That's not the only place, but it's definitely a place. And that dashboard can be up after the event is over for your attendees to be able to continue to get materials they may have missed. Maybe there were handouts that weren't ready yet, and now they're in your event dashboard. All of these things, or maybe there are surveys that you need them to take after the event is over. If it's a training event, all of these things can be going into your event dashboard. The emails, are you going to use an email marketing to get to them? Are you going to use phone calls to get to them? Whatever it is that you're going to be doing to keep that fire going, are you going to be using a group of some kind on social media to keep the fires burning? Think about all of these things. All of these things are important pieces for your event so that you're just not a fly-by-night thing that happens. And you can be fly by night even if you are doing this internally. They could forget it. It could be one of those things. If you don't put the pieces together and you're doing an event internally, it's very easy, and I know you've seen it happen when an event is mandatory. People show up but nobody was really listening, and you see nothing implemented because they just came because they had to, and they checked it off. They were there, or they were there with their screens off. They were doing 50 billion other things, not paying attention to you. This is what I'm talking about. You need to make sure that you put all of these pieces together to ensure that you have an event that really takes it to another level for your attendees, one that feels full circle for the people that are coming to be a part of that time with you, that have taken the time out of their day to be with you and commune with you and learn with you, whatever it is that you've prepared for them, because you've taken the time to really make sure that what you're giving them is something that's useful and valuable to them. And I hope that today has been useful and valuable for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for being a part of this particular moment in time. And like I said, if you want to get that checklist, go ahead and use this link to get the checklist. And if you are just all in awe of what it is that I'm doing on the screen and you want to get that masterclass replay, go ahead and go to this link to grab that masterclass replay. Thank you so much again for being here with me today. And remember, every single event that you do can go far beyond. I'll see you next time.